I used to live out in California, man. So I know how it gets crazy out there. So yeah, what I want to do in this Zoom call is obviously, man, it is incredibly tough and frustrating trading environment right now. And despite the technical analysis, more than anything, it's been being driven by the news, 100%. So if you have any questions, hit me up in the chat box, so that way we can, really, get through the flow of the meeting and stuff. So what I want to do, we could go over some charts, of course, for sure. What's up, Ryan? But I want to go over my Twitter feed, because right now, when it's like the markets are so up and down like they are, it's all news related. And as you can see, things are just going one way. Everything's like, take EG, for example, is, at a huge level of resistance, and it moved, it popped up, hit a stop loss, and went back the other way. So, it's just a tough trading environment right now. So let's check out Twitter and see if we can kind of make a game plan for, what's going on the rest of the week. The SP 500, let's pull up my chart here, keeps dropping. And that's a big factor in everything that's going on. So I got my screen shared here. And so if you want any of my Twitter resources, let's see, I'm trying to see where the chat is, but you can go to my Twitter page, Ronin Forex Group, at Ronin Forex Group, and you can follow all the same people that I follow. It's not like any of them secret. I go over this in way more detail in the training, but I thought we would go over this together, because I was about to just get updated on everything I got that's going on. So, like, obviously there is just a ton of news in the United States, and with all the shootings and all that stuff, man, it's really sad. So it's hard to comb through Twitter or Instagram or Facebook from all the like hateful stuff that's going on. But with that being said, we can try to piece together the pieces. And of course, this is Politico. This is kind of a pretty mainstream site that is available to everybody. But this is referring to Trump's tweet this morning about devaluation of the Chinese currency. So that is their way for fighting back against us for the trade war that's going on right now, which no need to put it in quotations anymore. It's pretty much just full blown. I don't think it's going to get any better anytime soon, because Trump isn't the guy that's to walk back any comments or say he's made a mistake. That's for sure. So he's going to double down. And so what he's trying to do is he blasts China, and then he also blasts the Federal Reserve. China dropped their price of their currency to an almost historic low. It's called currency manipulation. Are you listening, Federal Reserve? And so that's pretty much what Trump is trying to get the Fed to do right now. And the Fed said when they cut rates last week, and they said they didn't see any foreseeable rate cut until unless trade tensions increased, and the global economic environment got any more tense or shooken up. And so clearly, so Trump's like, okay, well, if the only way I can get them to raise rates is for or cut rates, is for the trade tensions to increase, I'll go ahead and increase trade tensions. And that's what I think is going on here. So let's go back to Twitter. That's kind of pretty mainstream stuff. FX Hedge, this is a pretty good site right here. And so there's a lot of talk about, so devaluation, Chinese currency, obviously gold had a big rally too. And so the treasury yields are at an all-time low. So what this is doing, everything is at this huge breaking point. between gold being incredibly overbought, yields being at an all-time low, and the FX market pretty much caught in between everything that's going on. And that's why it's made it so hard to get a, to get a good read. Nothing's really trending now. Euro had a good run, but the thing is, if we're going off market sentiment, that by correlations, man, the Euro, you would expect it to be devalued because of JPY being strong, because of the safe haven currencies being strong. But of course, that wasn't the case, so it makes it even more tougher. So so this is a great resource, and of course you can find but like I said, man, it's hard to make it through all the shit talking that's going on right now. So US stocks hit fresh session lows. So S&P 500's at like below 29 or 2850. And so this is a great chart that I've seen multiple times, and you can see here is big ascending wedge and a megaphone pattern, which has been coming up a lot lately, this megaphone formation. So I mean, would the S&P 500 really make it down to 2250? I mean, that would be an epic, huge drop. It would be horrible for the U.S. economy as well. But the way these trade negotiations are going, that seems pretty likely, or it looks like it's not going to stop anytime soon. So Zero Hedge is another great resource, FX Street. And so really the big moves that happened this morning looked like they already happened. More, other than the S&P continuing to drop. First Squawk, Live Squawk, these are great resources as well. And just to kind of get just like blips about what's going on every 10, 15 minutes. And it's super, once you get into this world of trading on Twitter, and like I said, man, I saw Bowling Green Massacre, which is, I guess it's not, actually didn't happen, thank God. So yeah, but once you get in, you start using Twitter as a resource, man, it'll get you way more up to date and really step your fundamental game up. So I'm just going to keep going down the line here. Then, of course, there's just, man, the world is crazy right now with all the with everything going on. Yeah, so if you want to follow these same people that I follow, just go on Ronin Forex group, and you can find my Twitter page and go to followers or following, and you'll see all the different people that I follow. I don't see anything too new right now, so let's pull up some charts. Let's check it out. And get my screen mirroring going for you guys. All right, so here we are, the S&P 500, and what I'd already had that pulled up on Twitter. So, but let's take a closer look and use our form of analysis, the way we use look at charts, and man, there's multiple confluences here. If we start going across and finding these different points on the S&P 500, and what I want to do is I want to, whenever this thing stops, because this is going to be a huge play, because we know that the S&P 500, it goes up, right? So all we have to do is go back in history. Let's go to a weekly chart, and this is it. So we want to find the best place, the best possible place to buy the dip on this indice, because it's going to be a great long-term play. Now, this is the megaphone formation. This is the megaphone formation that was on Twitter. Now, is it going to make it all the way this far? Who knows? But, you know, that seems pretty unlikely. But we have a huge confluence right here. Now, this is starting to look pretty messy. So that's on the weekly chart. Let's go back down to 4 hour. Okay, so this is a confluence from this fractal to this fractal to this group right here. I think this would be this looks like a potential place for a bounce here. And so what we want to do, but it just keeps going, right? So it's a big sell-off right now. And this is going to be a significant level down. We're on this 2770, which is less than 100 points away, because you can see, well, maybe a little bit higher than that. Where this level of horizontal support is. Okay, I'm going to send this over to you guys. I'm going to send this in the VIP group. But when we get a bounce here on this, then I'm going to be looking for, you know, the JPY pairs. Then we might get some weakness out of the JPY. And once that happens, we want to put ourselves in a position to sell rallies on these JPY pairs, right? So this is our UJ position. I'm really surprised that we broke past this level right here, which is where the flash crash was at the end of last year. But we just keep dropping, right? So, but what we want is we want the selling to stop, and we want to get a bounce on the S&P 500, which will provide a bounce on these JPY pairs. Okay, so once that happens, then we should be able to get a good rally to sell. Because so the problem is right now, what is making it such a tough environment is that you know, like just like the pound Swiss that we put a position on that was already way oversold, right, and just kept dropping, is that it just keeps going, right? So we don't want to put a sell position way down here at the bottom. But I mean, the thing is, maybe we should be, right? Because maybe it's not going to stop. And that's the thing. Why I wanted to check Twitter first is that because a lot of the technical analysis right now is just not panning out, right? Because of this crazy sell-off in stocks, because of the trade war, because of all the tensions in the country. It's really, really hard. Like here, NZD-JPY looks like it could potentially be a buy. Maybe we might get a bounce here. It would have been better down here at the bottom. But we also have, so for all the AUD and NZD setups, the reason haven't been sending those out today is because we have some big news on that front here at we have unemployment data, and then tomorrow, or wait, I guess 12:30 tonight, we have interest rate decision for Australia, and then also, and then tomorrow, New Zealand. So that makes it pretty tough, right? Because we have that going on. And the thing is, while we have this risk-off environment with the yen, with the S&P selling off, that's going to create a weak, and especially above all that, above the whole market sentiment, risk-on, risk-off thing, is that we're going to have that Australia and New Zealand, they are big trade partners with China. And the thing is, as long as these tensions go, you never know. We're one tweet away from, either a deal getting made, which I highly doubt, or, more tariffs. Who knows? Excuse me. Who knows? But that's drastically going to affect Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar. So, man, what I'm saying is that it is very, very tough trading environment right now, for sure. And we just gotta do what we can to be vigilant and totally work together as a team, for sure. And we're doing a great job in the chat room about finding setups and staying abreast of what's going on Twitter and where we can find, because man, stuff is breaking every single minute right now, it seems like. So 4 minutes ago, China says it doesn't rule out the possibility of slapping tariff on U.S. agriculture products. So 5 minutes ago, some more stuff is always happening. So stay up to date on your fundamental resources. If this whole world is new to you, of like fundamentals, like maybe you just want to learn about trend lines. But the thing is, or maybe you're pretty beginner level and you're just at the technical analysis and you have no idea what this stuff means. Start reading it. That's the best way to learn. And you can follow my Twitter, you can follow the same people I follow, and just start saturating yourself with this information, because it will all start to click after a while. And if you're wondering why the market's been so up and down, that's exactly why. I like our position on Euro Swiss, just mainly because of we are extreme across the board, either one way or the other way, with the euro, with the dollar. And so, man, it's going to be really, really, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon. But what we can hope for is with these positions, like what I showed with the SP 500, and this is more or less the driving factor right now, is that once we get a move or a bounce going one way or the other way, that should let up on the extreme positions on on UJ, on these JPY pairs. EJ looks to have been holding up strong, but also it just looks like a small bounce here, and I don't want to put in any more positions right now, because the likelihood that we get one of these and double bottom is pretty likely. So so it's really tough. But do we want to put a sell in there? Is the risk to reward really there? So it's a tough trading environment right now. We can look at AJ, which has a super direct correlation with the S&P 500. The fact that it's stopped right here is a pretty good signal that maybe we'll get some a bounce in the S&P. But what we want to find here is a move higher, which I doubt it would even bounce that high, which would provide a good selling opportunity to sell the rally. So that's pretty much my game plan for the week, and to hopefully tomorrow's turnaround Tuesday, right? So I think we will get that and get a little relief and get a little letting up on the extreme conditions. And when we're there, we're going to do everything we can to capitalize on it. So I hope you found this video a little bit more informing, or if you're new and you're like, dude, what is going on? Like the things that aren't really correlating right now. You know what I mean? If you notice that it's JPY is super strong and Euro is very strong, and that's not typically the way it works. So, but whatever we can do, we can stick together exactly all the stuff I said. As news breaks, or say we're starting to get a bounce in the SP 500 or a drop in gold, then we can start to formulate a game plan of when to attack on areas like this. So this is what I'm looking for. This is like pretty much my game plan for the rest of the week, and how I'm going to stay in touch and really try to get these opportunities as they happen. But it's super unpredictable right now due to the news cycle that's going on in the political environment, the trade wars and the shootings, and dude, it's crazy out there. So but that being said, let's crush it. Let's get back into the rest of the week going strong for sure. And you guys are doing a great job with the setups and the chat groups. So let's just keep crushing it, and keep and if you see any breaking news, I'm watching in the VIP chat as well. So I'll be there, and always open to new suggestions. So all right, everybody, thanks for watching, and let's finish the day strong. Peace.